YOLO. Good morning from the Appalachian Trail. I'm Yolo, and I'm going to be your host today. It is May the 18th, day 69 on the Appalachian Trail. I just spent the night over here in this remote area, and we're heading closer to the end of the Shenandoah National Park. I think I'll be out of it by tomorrow. I'll have to check. But this morning I'm just heading to the restaurant, camp store, camp office, or whatever. That is in about 5.5 miles. So I will get my legs limbered up and my right knee, as I always have issues with for the first few minutes. I'll have to take it easy, and then once the 15 minutes or whatever kicks in, my knee will start getting limbered up and I can start moving on. But I slept fairly well last night, sort of like one eye open, because I did have my food bag in my tent, and I kept hearing what I thought were mice, but I don't think it was. I think it was just the wind rustling the leaves. So I was also pitched downhill a slight bit, so every time I'd move, I'd slide just a little bit downward and to my right if I'm lying down. So when I woke up this morning, my air mattress was shoved in the bottom corner of my tent. So that was an issue. It was also getting warm, so trying to figure out how to sleep inside my tent when it's warm with my down 850 fill quilt and my sleeping liner. So I'll have to experiment with that to make sure I can sleep well, comfortably. This morning I woke up and I had the quilt wrapped up around my neck, and because I was a little chilled. See me grimacing? That's because of that knee. It's not quite lubricated up, I guess. So at the camp store, hopefully we'll get there at a time when it's open. I don't think it will be though, or it would be very on the tail end. So the restaurant is open in the morning until 10, and yesterday I got there at 10:10, so they had been closed for 10 minutes. I wasn't going to reopen it for lunch until noon, and I didn't want to wait around for an hour and 45 minutes for lunch and then wait another hour to get lunch and eat lunch. So I just got a sandwich and charged my batteries and packed on. So that's probably what I'll end up doing today as well. But deer came through my tent site this morning. I wanted to make sure it wasn't a bear, so I got my camera ready and I opened up my tent, and all I saw was a white-tailed deer that was running off. So I thought I was going to get a bear experience, but it ended up just being a deer. So I don't know what a bear sounds like when he's walking through the woods, if it's real noisy or if it's real stealthy. Hopefully I don't have to find out in person, but it is what it is. We're out here in their neck of the woods. We're getting to the edge of the park, so there's not as many people camping, tent siting, and that type of stuff for vacationers, that is. So the terrain is a little rougher. The vegetation has not been trimmed or worn down because, again, we're entering into the beginning of the park. So nobody really wants to be at the beginning. They all want to be in the middle of the park. They have several campgrounds here, so I don't think, actually there is one more campground forward of me, a couple miles. So, but the area that we're traversing now is not too trimmed or worn. It's only worn by thru hikers. But anyway, let me start my day and see if I can get this knee lubricated up, because I'm going uphill and it's pretty tough. I just cracked my head. I was looking down, walking, and I ran right into this guy, right in the top of my head, because I was looking down. That was a crack that really hurt. It took me down for a moment. I had to stop and rub my head to make sure I still had a brain there and it didn't crack my skull. But, I'm okay, but that woke me up. Hello. Pay attention not only to the ground for snakes and stuff, but also keep looking up so you can see things like that. Yowzers, that hurt. Guys, I'm here at the wayside with food, but it's not a restaurant. It's just a resupply store, a little camp store. So I'm a little bummed about that because I was wanting some breakfast, but it is what it is. So we'll just get what we need and head on out. How's it going, man? Set up over here. We have power, so let me relocate to here. I certainly thought this was going to be like the restaurant yesterday, but it is not. But they do have a soda machine, an ice machine, showers. So there's no plug there. There's a plug up there, and both of these are being used. So let's see what we can accomplish here. Looks like this is going to be our power. All right, we just left the camp store and grill. The grill doesn't open until Memorial Day. So I did not get any food from the grill, but they did have some refrigerated frozen sandwiches. So I got a hoagie, ham and cheese hoagie. Not much, but, and I got a 4-pack of pudding. So little pudding cups. So I ate all 4 of those, which is probably about a cup and a half of pudding, a sandwich, and a Sundrop soda. So once again, we're at the trail. We got to figure out which way we need to go. So, let's see if we can look at this thing and see what it says. It says Appalachian Trail that way and this way, but I don't know what way that is. So, let's refer back to the map. So, we were just right here. So we had to go back in the woods, go back that way to figure out where the trail is. And now we're back on trail heading north. I was able to have lunch or breakfast or whatever you want to call whatever we had. Early lunch, late breakfast. With a couple other hikers, a guy from Philly who does not have a trail name. I call him Cheesesteak. So he goes, man, one thing you know about me, and you call me Cheesesteak because I'm from Philly. So, and then the other two girls I've been hiking around with found out what their trail names are. It is Wheezy and Hook. So, trying to figure out where they're from and get to know them a little bit more. So, we're heading uphill if you can't tell by my breathing. So I think I'll turn this thing off and get it cranking here. Hey guys, here's a overview of what I see right now. This valley. It's a little hazy out there, but you can see the mountains in the background. And you can see a mountain behind a mountain there. That's pretty far. Anyway, just wanted to show that to you. It is about 12 noon. Don't need to stop right now for lunch because I had an early lunch or a late breakfast or whatever you want to say. Just spoke to some state park maintenance guys. They let me get some water out of their water cooler on the back of their truck. And then we just took a break there and spoke to them for a little while. I'd asked some questions and I'd asked them some questions. So it was a good time. So here I go, back down the hill. Hope you guys are having a good day today because it's a beautiful day here. The birds are singing, the sun's out. It's not raining. There's no rain in the forecast. I should be traveling out of the park tomorrow morning. It should be pretty close by the end of today. The maintenance guy said that Skyline Drive is 120, I think it was 120 miles long because they were mowing it with a tractor. And they're actually spraying for weeds on the retaining wall down here. So they got a special sprayer that reaches both sides of it. So they just drive slowly down the road and spray for weeds. But anyway, they mow all 120 some miles of the thing. So they say they stay pretty busy. Said their staffing is reduced to like 30 people, I think now, where several years ago it was 100 and some. But now, I guess there's just a handful of full-time people and then some part-time people, and then they have summer help that come in. But yeah, the guys have 5 years and 10 years to retire, and they said it's pretty good pay and pretty good benefits. So it's a government job, so I'm sure it is. The government positions seem to sometimes not pay so well, but the benefits are astronomically good, or at least they used to be. So the benefits really were why you work for the government. right, heading on down. Stumbling on rock. Haven't seen any frogs on. Off I go. Here, I keep seeing this. Not sure exactly what it is. I don't know if it's someone pulling these out, but I think it is this plant right here. But for hundreds of miles, I've been seeing these being pulled out of the ground. I'm not sure why. I thought it was people, but then I think maybe because it's hundreds of miles that it is actually an animal. So I don't know if a coon or something is, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. There's another pile of them, so it almost makes me think that a person is doing it or someone, or I don't know. Don't know why, but I think it's this plant right here. So let me Google it and see what I can find out. Well, thanks to Google, it is a garlic mustard plant. Why it's being pulled out, I don't know. So I'll have to do some more research, but the garlic mustard, is it invasive? Is it not part of this area, or are the animals eating it because it's garlic and mustard? Are people sucking on the weeds or on the roots? I don't know. So I'll have to do some more research, see what I can find out. I just Googled it, and now I'm coming up to this trailhead, and there's a note. It says non-native invasive control. So it's the garlic mustard, which is what we just looked up. How's it going, man? All right, so what I discovered was the mustard, garlic mustard, can be used for medicines and various things, and it was brought here by the settlers in the 1800s. But it is very invasive and multiplies very quickly, so I encourage you to pull it up. And what that sign back there basically said is they're spraying for it so it doesn't take over the other plants and vegetation, because it will kill the other species. All right, so we're at another area. So there's a white blaze up here. So we'll check that out and head on to the white blaze. So anyway, that explains what it is. I've been wondering for hundreds of miles what this plant is and why is it being pulled out, and who's pulling it out. But I'm sure it's caretakers or other people that know about it, and they see it and they pull it out of the ground. So maybe I'll pull one or two out of the ground, so it will help preserve the forest and the other plants, because it said it will choke out the native flowers and everything. And then there's insects that used to take care of it, but now the insects don't mess with it or something, I don't know. But I'm not a botanist or a planetarianist or whatever, or whoever takes care of plants. But that's what we found out. And then I just ran into a older lady that is 71, and she is section hiking the trails, and she's from the Adirondacks, which is New York, and she's down here with her husband. She's hiking, and her husband is basically shuttling her around so that she can get her hiking in. She says she's typically hikes with 4 other ladies, and they're known as the 5 ladies on the trail. And the oldest one is in their 80s, and she's the one that is hard to keep up with, she says, because she's hiked all over the world and has done many trails, and she's very experienced, and she's the one that's actually hard to keep up with, and she's 80 years old. So I don't know why I'm complaining when my feet hurt after 18 to 20 miles, because these people are very inspirational. To see them out here doing this at 70 and 80 years old, wow, it's pretty amazing. Hats off to you guys. All right, let's keep hiking north so I don't have to complain about me being 51. So, all right, here I go, downhill. Look at this view, guys. We're out on an outcropping right now. You can see Skyline Road wrapping around the park. We come from all that direction over there. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We're up here on this big boulder. There's a cliff right here. And here we are. Down the trail, as you know, I run into a lot of people, so I ran into this couple. Would you mind telling me who you are and what you guys are doing?
Carl.
Lynn.
And where are you guys from?
Arizona, Phoenix.
All right, and what are you doing out here?
We are just visiting all the national parks out this way.
Okay, and you guys are just, you parked in the parking lot and you're taking some pictures of whatever.
Wildlife.
I try to meet people like you.
Yeah, and we're really interesting too, I tell you what. So,
Okay.
We are so proud of you.
well, thank you very much. Check out my YouTube channel. That's Yolo Hiker on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Yep.
Wow, what a interesting couple that was. They are hitting all the national parks. They have senior passes, so they get in and out free with their senior pass. It's not free, I think there's a charge, but it's pretty minimal. But anyway, she does a lot of hiking club stuff out in Arizona, and typically she has her own pass, because a lot of times they are not together because she travels with a group of other hikers, and in order to get in she needs her own pass. But anyway, after I left them, there was another lady that was day hiking, I guess, and she's like, oh, you know, she pulled over for me, and I was like, well, actually the people going uphill have the right of way, so I should have got off for you. And she's like, no, I did my through hike last year. And I was like, oh, I bet you that's wonderful. She's like, yeah, I wish I had. And then from that point forward, I have no idea what she was talking about. She's talking about the CDT and the CDC and Dr. Fauci. I don't know where she was going. I don't know if you've ever talked to people and you're like, what the heck are you talking about now? So I just said, You guys probably think that about me. I'm sorry. But I'm more confused about that conversation than when we started. So I don't know how we got to Dr. Fauci and her trip last year, and her telling me that I'm gonna be a professional hiker as soon as I get done with this trail. And I don't know. I'm lost. So let me just keep hiking north. Something I know I can do. I'm guessing that this van right here is the couple I just met, and that car is the ladies that I just met. So nice rig. It's like a Ford Transit, all-wheel drive. That's pretty bad. No, it's a Mercedes four-wheel drive. So pretty tough looking. I've had a Mercedes. It's not the way to go, people. I have too many issues. You can only get parts from Sprinter, and that's about it. Yeah, we won't talk about that, but I now own a 3500 Transit van, which is by Ford, and I can get it serviced at any Ford location. Where the Sprinter, it's Mercedes, but you can't take it to any Mercedes dealer to get it worked on, because you have to take it to a Sprinter dealer because it's a special truck. So Mercedes dealer does not have the diagnostics and the racks and everything to hold the Sprinter van, so you have to go to the Sprinter dealer or a commercial garage which has large semi equipment that can handle the equipment. But anyway, I'm talking, and you're gonna be more confused than when we began, just like my conversation with that lady. All right, heading north, uphill. Hey guys, I'm at mile marker 960.2, I think it is. It's called the Cliffs. So it's been a beautiful day so far, and now it has decided to rain. So it is actually spitting rain. So hopefully it's not going to be too bad. It sort of feels good, but I don't want to get saturated and soaked. So I don't know if I need to stop and put my pack cover on my backpack so that it will protect some of my stuff. That probably wouldn't be a bad thing. The worst it would be is just the delay in time of taking my pack off and putting it on. So I think with that being said, that would probably be the smartest thing, so I can keep the stuff inside my backpack dry. We do use a contractor garbage bag inside, but some of the stuff is outside of that garbage bag. It's the stuff that I use routinely and if I need to get in. So like I took off my long sleeve shirt, that's outside of that bag. So if my bag does get saturated, it's gonna get wet and damp. So let me just take my pack off, put everything inside the contractor bag, and then deploy my pack cover so that everything's rain tighter. So it's not gonna be rain tight, but it is what it is. So no rain, no pain, no main, they say. So let me do that. Got my pack cover on. I got my umbrella accessible. Here's scarring from when I fell down the mountain one day. But anyway, I got my pack cover on. I got everything inside the plastic bag that needs to be, and now it has stopped raining. So that's all right. If it starts again, I am prepared. Always be prepared, or at least try to be prepared, or act prepared. So, all right, heading north. All right, guys, we're heading down to Compton's Pass. This is 966.5. I'm gonna push on to the shelter, which is just a few miles more. I'll probably take a rest break here for a little while, but I think the shelter is coming up in about 2 miles, and that means we'll be out of the park. So the Shenandoahs, or otherwise known as the Shanties, will be behind me, and heading north. So let's see what happens here.
No, he's kind of waving at you.
Oh. Hello, Robert.
Oh.
I posted up on Facebook yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it was today. I had signal, so a lot of comments like. Oh,
I know. I should probably get my picture or his picture.
Guys, you got a little baby snake right here. Not sure what it is. With a ring around it. So I just looked it up, and that is a northern ringneck. It is not poisonous. So that's what it is. So anytime you see a snake that's like gray, it's got a gold band, copper band, and then a black head, it's a northern ringneck snake. It's not poisonous. Doesn't mean it won't bite though. Be careful. All right, park boundary to the left, 0.2 miles. Off we go and say goodbye to the Shenandoah National Park and Forest. 0.2 miles. And then we have about a half mile past that to get to the first shelter now. They're no longer called huts, but to the first shelter, which is outside the Shenandoah National Forest, or Park rather. And then I can remove the paper permit that is tagged to my bag, because it's flopping around in the breeze and it's causing drag, so I can't hike as fast. This flutter's like a little flag, big flag. So. All right, let's do it. All right here it is. We're gonna put our permit, I guess, inside the box. Please do not discard your used permits here. So I guess we're not putting them in there. But it looks like several people have. All right, we're done with the Shenandoahs. Woohoo! Let's see if there's the park shelter or the park thing or wherever up here. And that way I can maybe put a little bit of a charge on my phone and get a snack. We're now leaving the Shenandoah National Park and entering private property. Yoo-hoo! I made it. All right, guys, we've made it to the edge of the park. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Guys, we've made it to the shelter. This is the Tom Floyd shelter. Let me settle in it first night. We've got to look for tent spots. There's some people here already. So if we need to, we can sleep in the shelter, but hopefully there's some tent spots. Do not cut down trees. So we got the shelter right here, but the tent sites are on down the mountain. It says tent site 3, which sounds like me because it's close and looks like it could work. Only thing is, if that's the water will come down and make this a bowl. But it looks like it'll drain right over there. So let me just drop my pack and go look. Actually, I'll just carry my pack to the other places and see what they look like. Because it's supposed to rain, they said. So I'd rather not have a bunch of water pounding my tent. Plus, that was a little rocky. But if we need to, we'll do it. You have to think about the lay of the land when you set up your tent, especially if it's raining, because you don't want to be in a crater where you'll be in a bathtub of water if it starts raining. We are getting closer to the spring, but I don't need water. I've got water now. But number 3 looked like it might be a winner, because it looks like I'm heading on down the mountain. It is 6:39 p.m. We've done about 23 miles. I'll have to figure it up, but so we've pushed 23 miles today, and we got outside Shenandoah, and we're no longer in the park, so that's a good thing. And then I just met a gentleman when I was hiking in. His name is Captain Jack from Jacksonville, Florida. Navy guy, so he's been all over the world. Holy smokes. That one tent site might be the winner. But anyway, his name is Captain Jack. And the guy that I attended with last night, he's staying in the shelter right up there, so he's here as well. And then there's another guy, I'm not sure who he is. I don't believe I've run into him or met him. He's an older guy. All right, let's go find this place. 3 might have been the lucky one, lucky number 3, because it was somewhat close. But I'm just gonna have to hike this up tomorrow morning. Guys, we're right back to where we started. I went looking for those other tent sites, and they're all the way down the mountain. And the one that I was gonna stay at, there's already someone there. So I went on down looking for some of the other tent sites, and it's almost like a scavenger hunt. So it's almost at the spring, so I'm gonna make this fish bowl right here work for tonight. So let's get set up. Well guys, that's ending day 69 on the Appalachian Trail. So I am set up in my tent and I'm about to eat my supper, which is a beef stroganoff. So thank you for watching. Thank you for praying. Thank you for your contributions. It's much appreciated. I am Yolo. You only live once, so do it right the first time, and there's no need to do it again. Talk to you later. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and ring that bell. Talk to you later. See you tomorrow.